Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about the latest information to come from Hutchinson. There's a lot of it that's coming out in the transcripts from the committee. But there are two pieces of information that I find incredibly interesting. And I just kind of want to draw attention to two little segments of this. The first is that according to Hutchinson, Meadows was burning documents in the fireplace at the White House. That in and of itself is interesting. And according to her, it was a couple of times a week in December and January. That's interesting. It becomes more interesting if you know that the White House has access to burn bags. Burn bags are exactly what they sound like. They are paper bags. They have patterns on the outside of them, but the stuff inside gets burned. It gets incinerated. They get transferred to a different location, and they're burned. Choosing to burn these documents himself, you have to ask why when that's available. I think I know the answer. Throughout the Trump administration, Trump would tear up documents and put them in burn bags. Staffers, in an attempt to stay in compliance with federal law when it comes to certain documents having to be retained, they would dump them out and try to put them together like a jigsaw puzzle and tape the ones together that had to be retained and then burn the rest. So, if you're Meadows and you have documents that you want to keep close hold, nobody should see these, you can't give them to the staffers. You can't put it in a burn bag and have the staffers do that. This indicates to me that whatever he was burning was something that people inside the White House could not see. People who would go through classified documents from the president, they couldn't see it. That's what it says to me. There aren't really any legitimate documents like that. Whatever they detailed was likely something so out of the norm that if a staffer saw it trying to play Trump jigsaw, they would report it. That's a really interesting piece of information, because there's no reason to burn something in the fireplace there. Not a couple of times a week. I can see maybe once being mad and just throwing something into a fireplace. I can see that. But a couple of times a week? Nah. Those are documents you don't want seen by people not in the loop. That's interesting. And I have a feeling we will see that material again. Not what was burned, but the fact that this occurred. The other thing is that, according to the testimony, certain conspiracy theories were pushed into the White House through the space laser lady and I think Peter Navarro. They would bring in the conspiracy theories and kind of brief the higher-ups on them, on what was being said. That's also really interesting, because we're talking about conspiracy theories that were very harmful. We're talking about theories that, to this day, there are support groups for family members who had a loved one fall down into these theories. The reason I find it interesting that people from outside of the White House were bringing this information in and explaining these theories to the higher-ups is the theory themselves. Understand, that fact debunks the theories. Why would the higher-ups need to know if they were in on the plan? It certainly appears, based on this, that the Trump White House played into this stuff, gave the appearance and a nod to it, for the sake of keeping a base energized. Some might say radicalized. But the fact that they had to be briefed on the theories kind of shows that they're not real, right? If Trump was really in contact with L or M or whoever, he would know what the plan is. He wouldn't need the drops explained to him, because he would know what they are. That little bit of information should probably be all over the media, because that theory is still out there and there's still adherents to it. Those briefings might be the best evidence to help break people free from it and make them really start to question what they have come to believe. There's a lot of information that is coming out from the committee, and there's going to be more, undoubtedly. Most of it is stuff that at first glance doesn't seem that important, but it'll come up again. Believe me, there are going to be a lot of people who want to know what was being burned, and who gave him the documents that were burned, and who he met with and talked to about those documents. We'll probably see that in future proceedings. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.